To the one we've been waiting for.
Southside, AFC South.
That's the one we've been waiting
No,
for.
we got one more. We got one more to the west side.
Waiting for that one.
Southside, AFC South.
Yeah.
Last year was Tennessee, and they just, for me personally, they surprised me every single week. I could not believe that they were winning games and pulling them out. And I eventually, by the end of the year, I had to tip my cap to the coaching staff because I wasn't high on it coming in. I wasn't high on, the offense being versatile enough to score points. They were. They even did it without Derrick Henry for most of the year. It was impressive. I knew they were going to get dogged out in the playoff. I knew it was just a matter of time, like in the back of my head, but I had to give due respect to what they were able to accomplish last year. This year, how do you guys see it?
Okay, so
this is the toughest one for me. Go ahead, you go, Nick. But this one was hard for me.
Well, the Colts on paper have the strongest, I think, probably the most balanced team coming out of 2021. Carson Wentz is gone. Matty Ice is in. Going to bring more consistency to the more consistency and more patience to the offense. They have a good defense, number one running back, veteran, with Matt Ryan. I think they easily take the division. With Ryan Tannehill and his replacement
In waiting.
Malik Willis being drafted, the Tennessee Titans will be struggling to get things done.
They just gave Tannehill a big contract, too. What kind of stuff does that say to you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then they draft Malik Willis. They're going to have that controversy, same sort of deal when they drafted Hurts in Philly, and you had Wentz had a good season. That controversy there, that kind of depleted his career. Not his career, but where he was going with things. And then you got the departure of A.J. Brown.
What do you feel about that?
Leaving.
I mean, I know as an Eagle fan, you're happy to get A.J. Brown. But from the perspective of the Tennessee Titans,
This is why.
you basically traded A.J. Brown for Treylon Burks. And I'm not going to knock Treylon Burks. There's been some stuff floating out about him, maybe out of shape or something like that. But
A.J. Brown
you
is
make that move.
A proven
That's what I'm saying.
proven
what
top
A.J.
5
Brown
wide
is.
receiver, consistently putting up numbers. I mean, this guy's a beast. Of course, I'm ecstatic as a Philly fan to have him come over to Philly. But for the Tennessee Titans, dumb move, and it's only hurting them more. To draft a guy like Malik Willis obviously it's to replace Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, it almost feels on the outside like you're on a rebuild.
And then you get rid of your number one wide receiver on top of it. Let's get this rookie guy in here and get rid of our number one receiver. So, no,
And you traded for Julio Jones.
they're going to be struggling.
Yeah.
So that's why I have the Colts easily taking it. And then I got the Jags and the Texans both in rebuild mode. If you ask me, they're both teams who are rebuilding, and they're not really in the talk of winning the division. But I have Jags than the Texans. I think Trevor Lawrence has a better season, but
Okay.
Yeah,
about
I'm not seeing it that way. I was torn on Indy, and I was torn on Tennessee.
That being said, the only thing that holds the Colts back from taking the division is if Mike Vrabel makes it different. If Mike Vrabel makes something happen with Malik Willis and A.J. Brown and.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You get Robert Woods, right?
Henry's healthy.
Robert Woods is coming off a pretty bad injury. All right. Really good run blocker. Arguably one of the best run blockers in the game.
Very reliable.
So to get rid of A.J. Brown and replace him with Robert Woods, to me, makes sense, right? I don't like the injury, though. I mean, that's a little... I wish Robert Woods would have just been coming off a good year, and then you made that trade. Then I would have felt a lot more comfortable with it. But the intangibles of what Robert Woods brings to the table, I really like, right? I really like that, okay? And I've always knocked Tannehill really bad and really hard. But 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the year last year, that's elite. That's elite numbers. Except when you go back and you watch the games that matter, he starts throwing interceptions. So, yeah, he threw 7 all year, but one of those 7 came in the playoffs when...
His first play of the game.
I mean, against Cincinnati.
He threw 3 that game?
So, I mean, you make those kinds of decisions with a team that was playing elite defense.
Yeah.
And, Henry just came back, and it just I said this before. I'll say it again. There's no way you can be out that many games, come back, and not need a game to get back to form. He needed a game to get back to form, just like I talked about Cam Akers needing a game. I said that was good. Cam came out on the Rams, and he didn't look good in that last preseason game against the 49ers or I can't remember the game. Anyway, Cam came out and didn't look good, and Cam was out that whole season. and didn't look good. Playoffs comes, he looks good. You go back, Henry just broke a foot, out 6, 7, 8 games, maybe something like that. 6, 7 games, 6 games.
Ended up being almost 10. I think he broke it in like week 6 or 7, somewhere in that neighborhood. But
he was already over. He had 1,400 yards,
crushing it
before he got injured. The point I'm trying to get at here is he was gonna need a game to get back to Henry.
Yeah.
He wasn't Henry when he came out in that playoff game. Getting tackled behind the line, you could see that he wasn't. He was very unconscious or self-conscious of the foot, and he didn't want to get hurt again. So I mean, I seen that in the playoffs. I thought that he wasn't going to come out and be a factor, and he wasn't. We're getting him back. We're getting some things back. I can't honestly take Indy over Tennessee because everybody's coming back. And one wide receiver leaving, to me, on a team that's not a passing team, they're not a passing team, to me is not that big of a deal. But if Robert Woods comes in and is healthy...
They won last year by passing the football, though.
Huh? No, they won last year because of their defense. Their defense played outstanding at the end of the season. Especially when Henry went down, we were like, that's it. And no, every single week, that defense came out and played. And they traded for Cunningham, and it was this whole big thing. And how could you? Why would you?
I like their secondary. They got nice young pieces in the secondary. They'll get Caleb Farley, their draft pick from last year, the corner out of Virginia Tech. They'll get him back this year. I like the defense still. But, I mean, to your point on that with Tennessee, what happens when you need to throw the ball, though? What happens when you need a big play by somebody? And there's countless numbers of times A.J. Brown took a simple crossing route to the house.
Yeah.
To the house. Yeah. And that's a backbreaker. And not only that, but how much confidence can you instill if you're taking weapons out of the air? That means it's going to be more pressure on Derrick Henry in the ground. And they drafted Hassan Haskins out of Michigan, which I'm big on. I like him. He's a thumper too. But, man, if something goes wrong, you're relying all on the defense.
You can't say
you're relying all on the defense. And I don't like them putting the extra weight on Henry because that's what it feels like you're doing to me. Yeah. If I'm a Tennessee Titan fan, you're basically saying, it's King Henry. We don't need anything else. We'll just ride him. His foot's better. You know what I mean? And that's
a 4-year wide receiver, A.J. Brown, in 3 of those years, he's over 1,000 yards. Yeah. That doesn't just not count.
I like Robert Woods. I like that, but he's not a number one. You know what I mean?
To say to take one guy away.
If you would have complimented me, AJ, with Robert Woods, I would have. Yeah, you're moving in a positive direction. Taking AJ out of it, you're going to need a lot from Treylon Burks. You better hit on that guy because if that guy is not first round material, which AJ Brown is, then I feel like they're going to suffer. It's going to be tough for them. How you see the rest of the division playing out? Besides,
I gotta go Indy. Which honestly, to be completely honest with you. I think Matt Ryan's in a really, really good situation with that, because the running game is incredible. I mean, I think that of potentially the way Stafford had his situation, leaving the Lions and going to the Rams, I think potentially we could be seeing the same type of situation. But I mean, are those receivers going to stay healthy?
That's what they said about Wentz going over there. But I think you talk about that Wentz going to the Colts. I think Matt Ryan's
T.Y. Hilton,
the player as
T.Y. Hilton was not on the field like he should have been. A lot of guys were chipped up. Yep. I mean, Jonathan Taylor had another good season.
Really good year. He has the potential.
Pittman was pretty good. Yeah, Pittman was pretty good. I mean, yeah, the intangibles are there, but I feel like how you feel about the Dolphins. Prove it. I want to prove it.
No, for sure. I think
so that's why I'm putting Indy.
I think Matty Ice, hence his name, Matty Ice, the ability to stay calm, cool, and collected in those clutch situations, I think is going to help the Colts take them to that next level. He ain't been called Matty Ice in 5-6 years. That's what they needed.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Prove it, though.
They needed, and Wentz choked. Every time they needed him, they choked. Jonathan Taylor got it done on the ground. The defense got it done on defense. And then when it came down to
their secondary was bad. They gave up a lot. The secondary on that
they did.
But like I said, prove it. So my number three is not going to be Jacksonville. And the reason why my number 3 is not going to be Jacksonville, for the same reason why I said that, I like coaching staffs and I like all of that. I like coming back. I like everybody from the year before coming back, and you're not getting that with Jacksonville. You got a whole new regime. You got a rookie quarterback. Got to learn another whole new NFL system when he never even got a hold of the last system that he learned. So I think that that's going to be a huge issue with Jacksonville. That's why they're going to stay at the bottom. And I think what Houston has done last year with Mills and that coach and everything that they did, I think they're just going to improve a little bit. I think they're going to get a little bit better. I think maybe potentially you might see, David Mills wow you a couple games.
I think they're still both five-win teams or less. Like I said, rebuild teams for me, both of them.
Right.
There's no third and fourth place for me there. It doesn't really matter because they're both
right. But you know what?
They
really came out last year playing, and I think they're going to come out this year and playing again.
They were a tough team to play all season long. It was surprising.
I think they're going to be better because everybody's coming back. And it's not 6,000 free agents that come to a new rookie coach. I mean, everybody's coming back. The system's there. Everybody now knows the system. And the only ones that are new are the couple of draft picks that they got and maybe
You also hate Trevor Lawrence.
A sign or two.
But
no, he didn't.
No, I love Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, that's you.
He hates it.
I don't hate him.
I just don't like him having to be put in another new system. That there is no keys to success there.
Yeah,
absolutely
it's
not.
Going backwards.
I mean, you got rid of Miles Jack. There's just so many things, bro. It's so much easier for me to pick the Houston Texans over the Jacksonville Jaguars
because of David Mills.
Because it's a dumpster fire. No, because the entire staff is coming back.
No, I get your point on that for sure.
Yeah,
no,
the entire staff is coming back.
But talent wise, I mean, there's nothing there for Houston.
I mean, they have some things. You got Bevin Jordan coming back. I mean, everybody's coming back. You're going to see a much more polished team this year than you did last year.
No, that's
and you're not going to get that from Jacksonville.
That's kind of how I felt back to
that's a good point with the continuity.
You're not going to get that from Jacksonville.
I felt like the Patriots coming back in with it.
You paid Robinson big, but Robinson was out last year. So I mean, can Robinson stay healthy for Jacksonville? Is Marvin going to do it again? Like, are they going to ball out? Like, Marvin Jones going to have another good season on that team? Everybody has to learn a new system. I just don't. It could be possible, but I see Texans winning more games.
Interesting. I got it Colts hands down. I think the upgrade is pretty clear to me with Matt Ryan. I went and I kind of compared the numbers between him and Carson from last year. I think we'll all agree Atlanta was atrocious and had no weapons. I looked at the offensive line rankings. Colts ranked second. Atlanta, 24th. The numbers between the two, Matt Ryan threw for 20 touchdowns, 12 INTs. Carson Wentz, 27-7.
Carson Wentz was still running for his life last year.
27-7. So the numbers are not that much different, and you have an awesome ground game, and you got nice pieces. The pieces actually remind me of what he had in Atlanta during his MVP run. You got a Michael Pittman, who's kind of like a Julio Jones big type. You got a Paris Campbell, who, if is healthy, reminds me a little bit of a Calvin Ridley type. They drafted the Alex Pierce kid out of Cincinnati, which I liked a lot. He's a playmaker. He will become a household name, I think, as the season goes on. And then you look at the defense. You got Buckner, you got Payne, they brought over Ngakoue. You got Darius Leonard, which is just a turnover machine. They do need some help on the secondary. They did add Gilmore. He's not the same Gilmore he was when he was in Buffalo and in his heyday with the Patriots, but he's going to provide some stability, I think, to a young secondary that's talented. I think the Colts, I think Nick hits it right on the head. I think they run away with that division. And not only are they a little bit better in my mind, but Tennessee, as we spoke about a little bit, they're going to take a step back.
There's a lot of confusion going on in that locker room
I don't think they're a playoff team. I think Jacksonville's going to be better. I think the coach coming over is going to treat this almost like a resurrection of Carson Wentz type of era. He's going to be very user-friendly to Trevor Lawrence as to where Old boy last year, I just knew it from day one that was going to be a dumpster fire, and he had a lot of chips stacked against him. I'm not sold on Trevor Lawrence, but I think this offense will perform better. You get ETN back. He didn't play a snap for them last year. Very electric player, plus Trevor knows him, has got the rapport with him. You bring over Evan Ingram, who can make some plays. You bring over Christian Kirk, you give him some money. He made plays all day in Arizona when given the opportunities. None of those guys are ones. You got Chenault, you got Marvin Jones. None of those guys are ones, but they're options. They're weapons. They all bring a little bit of different dynamic to it. So if the offense can find roles and ways to get them the ball and kind of shore things up for Trevor Lawrence's confidence, hopefully they can perform a little better. I think they're a step ahead of the Texans, although I do like a lot of the things that the Texans have. I like the draft that they did with Jalen Petrie out of Baylor and then picking up Stingley, so I think the secondary is nice. I like the moves of picking up your Jerry Hughes, and they picked up Mario Addison from Buffalo, too, to add to the line. They got Christian Harris, the linebacker. I think they had a quiet, real good draft, too. No wow type of things. I have no idea who they're going to plug in at running back. Can Marlon Mack make it back? I don't know. I like what I see out of Davis Mills. I like Cooks. Cooks is always underrated and puts up numbers, big plays.
Injury prone.
He is injury prone, but he put it all together the past couple of seasons and really hasn't had those injuries that had bothered him when he was with the Rams and the Patriots before then, because he was getting concussions like every other game. I think
he's
that
just
was his main one.
undersized.
Yeah, he's tiny
position, but
I like Nico Collins out wide for them. So the Texans are starting to move in the right direction, but I think they got a ways to go. So it's Colts.
We're all right there.
The only team for me that's making it in the playoffs too. I don't think there's another playoff team in that division.
I would agree,
especially with the West being as stacked as it is.
I only think there's one team making it. But again,
No, you're fair to say prove it to me, because the way they finished up the season last year, which you just need a win, and Carson Wentz should have been, at least capable. Yeah, I think that's a really big deal.
And you guys are Carson Wentz haters already, so it's already an upgrade.
No, I went right to it because I thought I was going to be fighting with you and saying this is the same thing, but you went the other way.
Same page, yeah, same page.
So no,
he's gonna bring Matt Ryan's. What he's gonna do is he's gonna bring more patience and more confidence to the offense. And when it comes down to that long third and long, and
not so much to prove either. I think he's just gonna come there relaxed and let's go out here and play. As Wentz, he was like,
"I'm Matt Ryan. I can
like,
do this. I can get a 3rd and 13 or 3rd and 15. I've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah,
I know how to get a third down conversion."
Yeah, I like that.
As compared to Wentz was, he's always been, even when he's on Philly, even when he had his MVP season that season, he's always been reckless.
Trying to do too much.
Doing too
Watch
much,
this. I got us. I'm gonna put us on our back when you got other people.
And it worked for 16 games, one season.
Yeah,
that's it.
True.
Yeah, I think we're all. That was.
I don't see Jacksonville just everyone learning that system and being.
No, they're going to have their growing pains still. Yeah. But I think they're an improved team. They were scrappy last year. They played some good game. I mean, they beat Buffalo 1 week. Don't ask me how. They was like 9-6.
Miles Jack leaving's huge.
It was a big loss. But they replaced it with some young talent. I mean, I like what they did. To say, old boy deserved to be number 1 pick overall. He was
an incredible linebacker that could do everything.
Yeah.
That's
Pittsburgh.
Impossible.
That's a Pittsburgh plus on defense.
That's
for sure.
An impossible acquisition to just draft and replace. That's impossible to replace.
For sure.
It's like saying you could just replace Aaron Donald. Like, he's elite at that position, and there's no way you could allow him to go untouched or even single coverage. You have to account for him every play.
Well, he could play the pass. He was an all-around linebacker. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you have to account for him. So him being gone, that's going to hurt that defense.
Yeah. No, I had it on.
But they were scrappy last year.
Pittsburgh picking him up.
Yeah, that's incredible. Place. Yeah, but offensively, they're Pittsburgh's going to struggle.
And the Jags did go out and pick up Brandon Sheriff to help out with Trevor Lawrence as well. They remind me kind of the Jets on defense. Sheriff from Washington, Brandon Sheriff. He's all pro. I don't know how you say it.
Something like
Sheriff.
that.
Sheriff.
The new sheriff in
Shrek.
town for Trevor Lawrence. All right,
But he's a stud O lineman. Yeah,
he's a guard.
that was another guy I wanted the Giants to draft.
Nothing flashy. But he's been an all-pro type of guy for Washington. What are they, Commanders now? Can't call them the Redskins no more.
Commanders.
I'm just glad it's not the football team. I think I can stick with Commanders and it'd be smooth.
I don't like
every
Commanders,
single
but
time I called them the
football.
Redskins
They're all over the
repeatedly. Like,
Yeah,
for real.
Commanders. Good luck with that.
Wrapping it up. Wrap up the South.
So we begin.
And now it's the West.